Hi everybody, I hope you're doing well. It is Friday the 17th of April and we are looking at today's Moravian passage in Mark chapter 4 verses 21 to 29. Now what I'm going to do this morning is take the first verse and the last few verses and stitch them together. And I hope you won't feel it's too much of a stitch up, but to me they go so well together. The passage opens with talking about a person who has a lamp. Remember, the kind of oil-filled lamps would have been the standard means of illumination once darkness came in a Jewish household in New Testament times. And so it was vital for everybody to be able to see what they were doing. The lamp had to be put on a lampstand. So it would have been crazy, wouldn't it, to have actually covered that lamp with a bowl or to have hidden it under a bed. It would make no sense whatsoever. Jesus teaches elsewhere that we are the light of the world. And so we're to let our light shine, not to hide it, not to put it under the bed. That would be equally crazy. And yet, for so many of us, it happens all the time. Through fear of embarrassment or fear of being rejected or feeling inadequate, not knowing what to say to people, we hide our light. Now, I want to encourage you by bringing that into the last few verses of this passage, which talks about a farmer. So another metaphor. Farming metaphors are very common in an agrarian culture like Jesus. And the farmer, it says, sows his seed. Remember that seed in the New Testament is often a metaphor for the gospel, and we're called to sow gospel seed. The farmer sows his seed. What does he do next? Worry and fret and dig up the seed every few minutes to make sure it's okay? No, he goes to bed. And I love this image of, done what I need to do, now I can rest. I can trust in the power of the seed. Paul says the gospel is the power of God for salvation. And so when we sow this seed, it has its own built-in power. The farmer wakes in the morning and then he starts to see these little green shoots coming up. First of all, the green shoot, then the stalk, and then the fruit-bearing head, the seed that is going to cause multiplication of this crop. What has he done to create that? Absolutely nothing. He just sowed the seed and waited and waited. And when we're sowing gospel seed, when we're speaking to people about Jesus, when we're talking about our faith story, when we're telling people about answers to prayer or how God's helped us through difficult times, in whatever way we're sharing good news seed, then we just need to wait for it to bear fruit. But eventually, in many lives, it will do just that. For those who are open, who are good soil, if you like, as we heard about in yesterday's passage, the seed will start to bear fruit. And then we have our second job. The first job is to sow the seed liberally, plentifully, wherever we go, scatter the good news seed. And the second thing we have to do is to recognize when it is ripe and ready for harvest. In some of the translations, it talks about putting in that harvest when the grain or when the crop permits. And there's a moment, there's a right moment, and we need to ask God for discernment. Just as a farmer grows in experience to know when to harvest a crop, we need to grow in understanding and insight as to when the harvest is ready. And that's when we say to people, we ask them, we've talked about all sorts of spiritual things, and we've talked about Jesus. I'm just wondering, are you wanting to follow this Jesus? Do you want to know him better? Do you want to go on a journey of discovery? Would you like to be invited into a pathway to faith where you can discover faith for yourself? We start to prepare the crop for harvest. We've sown a seed, we've prayed, we've waited, trusting in God in that place of rest, knowing that the seed has its own power. And then, when we're ready, we seek to bring a harvest. We start to invite people into a process of coming to know Jesus. Many ways we can do that. Alpha courses, Sunday services, reading a Christian book, coming to a Discovery Bible study. Lots of ways we can invite people to come into a harvest process. where they can give their lives to Christ. And the seed itself not only grows, but it multiplies. And when we see someone ready to explore faith for themselves, to come to Christ, then we know that through that person, they have family, they have friends. There's all sorts of new opportunities for seed to be sown and a harvest to be reaped. The seed multiplies. So let me encourage you today to let your light shine. Have those gospel conversations. Tell people about how wonderful Jesus is to you, how he's helped you, how he's answered prayer. Explain to people how you came to faith. Tell them your story. When the time is ready, invite them into a journey of coming to faith themselves. The power's in the seed. Our job is to sow it and to recognize when it's ready to be reaped. God bless you and have a great day.